Hey everyone, we're doing a promo right now where we're going to let you know about the holiday schedule for SBR videos and the Loshak and the Bag show. Since I have seniority over Jim, Jim's the one who has to look like a fucking geek with the hat on. Jim, you feel like a geek?
I do.
You do. You look like a geek, Jim. No, you don't look like a geek. You look cool as hell. You look like a guy who doesn't care about what he looks like and has inner confidence, and that's why you can sit there. All right, so Jimmy the Bag, it's been a great show, right? The Loshak and the Bag show. It's been awesome, right?
It's been wonderful.
We're going to have our first official break in the action. Tuesday the 19th is going to be the last Loshak and the Bag show series, both of them before the break. Then no Loshak and the Bag shows between Wednesday the 20th and Wednesday the 27th. Then on Wednesday the 27th, the shows will start up again, but only at 6 p.m., right? And then on the let's see, where does it start up again? And then Wednesday, January the 3rd is when the shows will start up again at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock Eastern time, 2 a day. In between then, though, we will have some interesting content every day at 12 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to do a Bowls special with me hosting and Big Man and Drew sitting in, and that's going to be from Wednesday the 20th through to January the 2nd, and we're going to cover all the Bowls for that game. So for those days. So that's going to be at 12 o'clock Eastern time from Wednesday the 20th until January the 2nd. And then, of course, when January the 3rd comes around, it's back to 2 shows a day. You think the show will be as popular, more popular, or possibly less popular when we pick it up again twice a day on January 3rd?
I think people will be missing it desperately.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Man.
I hope so.
Because I'll be missing it desperately.
So we hope that all of our regular viewers are upset by this news, and we'll be happy and counting the days until January 3rd comes around, which is when we'll start doing it twice a day.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the College Bowl special series of videos that we have been doing since the beginning of College Bowl season, previewing the College Bowls for every day. This is the one video, though, that we're going to be doing taped because of the holiday schedules. We are going to cover the Houston and Fresno State Hawaii Bowl, which goes on Sunday, December 24th. But we are taping this on Saturday, December 23rd. And I tell you that because, of course, we always use very, very religiously up to the second accurate lines for our picks here. So those are the lines. It's about 12:30 Eastern time right now on Saturday, and those are the lines that we're going to use to preview the Hawaii Bowl, Houston and Fresno State. Definitely another interesting bowl here, and the market currently a little bit uncertain as to where this line should be. Right now, 1.5, 2, and 2.5 are all widely available market numbers right now in favor of Houston over Fresno State. So right now, if you like Houston, you can easily find plus 2.5. If you like Fresno State, if you like Houston, you can easily find minus 1.5. If you like Fresno State, you can easily find plus 2.5. And the total, it's low, which is understandable because both teams have been much stronger defensively than offensively this year. Did get that up a little bit, though. It opened at about 47, and it's now up to 49 market-wide. This is a very tough bowl from my perspective. I got to be leaning under, even though that might be a little bit of an obvious play here. And I guess I'm leaning Fresno State as a small underdog. Fresno State, of course, was awesome ATS all season long. Houston, much more 50-50-ish ATS, but they did have some nice results, some nice eye-popping results. Of course, we remember their outright win as a double-digit underdog against tough South Florida. So Houston, clearly a team that can play at a top level at any given time. But again, Fresno State, awesome ATS all season long, and just a team you didn't really want to be betting against in any situation. And here, I got to think that that Fresno's momentum from the regular season carries over here, and have a slight lean to Fresno State plus the points. And maybe a little bit of a stronger lean to the under, even though that's also a little bit of an obvious play here. Let's start with you, Drew Martin. Is the under 49 just too obvious and kind of a suckerish play, or is it kind of a no-brainer play that you don't want to overthink? And probably we're going to see stronger defenses here, less potent offenses, and the game more likely than not stays under the low total of 49. What do you think, Drew Martin?
I mean, Pete, both of these teams, big under trenders this year. But when I see that total in the 40s, it does kind of scare me, man. I've pumped the brakes. I just don't have a lot of interest in it. And I tend to kind of recommend looking at a side in this game rather than the total.
All right. Well, we'll get your take on the side in a second. Let's go to you, big man on campus. Fresno State, awesome ATS all season long, but Houston doesn't jump out at you as a team like, oh yeah, I'm happy to bet against them. Houston, obviously, a very capable team that at times looked great and had some great ATS results in big games. Most notably, again, the one against South Florida. But again, Fresno State, awesome ATS all season long. How are you thinking about betting this one, big man?
Well, I got to be real. I think the wrong team's favored in this game, frankly. I don't really understand why Fresno's an underdog here. First of all, Fresno is 10-2 against the spread and 6-0 on the road against the spread. Also, we have to remember Fresno State went out there and played already on the Big Island. They beat Hawaii by double digits already this year. You have a team here in Houston where you've had a bit of a tough season, obviously with the hurricane there that they had and just overall some tumultuous quarterback play. But now you got to go on the road out to Hawaii to a place that many of you haven't been. It's just a big, as far as situation, a tough spot to back a team. And, Fresno's been so good in a lot of different ways this year. I mean, you worry about Ed Oliver, particularly on defense, one of the better defensive players in the country, but this offensive line's allowed just 9 sacks this year and have been great through the run game. I wonder how effective Ed Oliver will be. I also look at this Fresno State defense. What a job they've done. I think I've heard a stat, they gave up 38 points a game last year. This year they're giving up 17. I mean, just an extremely impressive year for that group. They force turnovers. It's something that Houston doesn't do. I just am more comfortable betting Fresno in this spot. They're familiar with the spot. They have a good quarterback. They're led by a good coach in Tedford, a guy that's prepared them all year, and they're so good against the spread. In an underdog role, I have a hard time not taking Fresno. I got to be honest, one of my favorite plays of the season in the bowl so far. Just don't understand why Houston's a favorite. They're on their third-string quarterback. Like I said, there has been some tumultuous times with this group. You're right. They're not a team I want to necessarily bet against, but a team that's 2-3 ATS on the road that has never been Hawaii against a team that has been, it's hard for me to take that team.
Yeah, I mean, the third-string quarterback, though, De'Ara King has been playing well, and he was the quarterback in the South Florida game. So maybe he started the season as third-string quarterback, but he's certainly proven himself this year, right, big man?
No, he definitely has, and I'm not going to discount what he's done. You just have to wonder why he was the third-string quarterback. Very odd, but this Fresno State defense is really legitimate. And is this a Greg Ward team of Houston that we've seen? No, I just don't. I made some money on them in the past, and I'm not saying they're a bad team. I just think from a spot thing in bowl games, you have to make that a focal point of your handicapping, and this looks like a disastrous one for Houston.
All right, well, let's go to you, Drew Martin. Drew Martin, is the wrong team favorite here? Is that possible? Did Vegas get it that wrong, that they made the wrong team the favorite? What do you think, Drew Martin?
Yeah, I do think they got it wrong. I think the wrong team is favored. A lot of what Big Man said. I mean, just 6 weeks ago, Fresno State made this trip out to Hawaii, playing there in the Mountain West, came out with the victory. And when you look, since they made the quarterback change, it was South Florida, ECU, Tulane, and Navy. I think Fresno State's defense is better than all 4 of those teams. So I think that they'll be able to step it up. What they've been able to do this year has been pretty amazing. I mean, depending on what number you got them at, 10-2 ATS this year for Fresno State. Hats off to them. I like their quarterback play, number 6. He can really throw it around. So I'd look for them to I agree. I think the wrong team is favored, Pete.
And as far as I'm looking at this game, and I'm concerned that the game will be similar to Fresno State's recent game against Boise State, which was very low scoring, which was kind of close, but that Fresno State lost. And if they had been a dog of 1.5 or 2, wouldn't have covered that game. I'm concerned that it's going to be a sort of a carbon copy of the or roughly a carbon copy of the Boise State game, and that the spread either which way is going to be dicey, but that the under might be the safest play. But you don't feel that way, Drew Martin. You've had a great read on totals and bowls so far this year. You don't feel that way, Drew?
No, I mean, I would be with you on the under, although I will say this, Pete, something to kind of keep in head. Houston's OC, Brian Johnson, he left to reunite with Dan Mullen in Gainesville. And I read a report that Applewhite will be calling the plays. And if you remember earlier in the season, there was an article where Applewhite really wanted him to go a little bit more up tempo throughout the season, and you could see it in the plays ran for Houston. So that does make me kind of pump the brakes on going on the under. So it also kind of makes me like Fresno State. Applewhite with the increased responsibility. Who knows? Making the trip out to Hawaii, and they haven't done it all season where Fresno State has. So it all kind of points me to Fresno State side.
All right, big man on campus. I'm sure you remember the Boise State game that Fresno State recently played. Another team that is similar to Fresno State, stronger on defense than on offense. I'm concerned that we might see a rough carbon copy of that game, which does not necessarily mean that Fresno State isn't a good bet, but it means that it might be pretty close, not necessarily a great bet. What's your take on that, if any?
Yeah, I think we have to remember also, Peter, though, that they beat beat Boise the week before. It was a slightly unfair tactic that the Mountain West used. I mean, there were some weird decisions they made on who was able to host this game. It's kind of unfair to begin with. And look, it was a grinded out game. I mean, Boise had lost the week before. I thought Boise was a slightly better team. I'm not going to discount that. The line was ridiculous, though. I could see where you're saying that this could be a grinded out type of football game, but I just look when you have a grinded out football game, you want a team that can do the little things. Can they force a turnover here or there? And you look at that, it's not even close. I mean, Fresno is much more inclined to do that. I like Marion at quarterback, and I like the coaching advantage. Tedford's done a great job all year. I wonder about Major Applewhite at this point. Plus, the fact that Drew made on the coach leaving also.
Right. All right. So I guess it's an interesting one. Clearly, you guys have some pretty solid opinions here. I'm probably going to pass on this bowl as well as far as the bet's concerned. I will make a pick, though. And Drew Martin, you're really liking Fresno State right now, right? I'm sorry, Big Man on campus. Sorry, Big Man on campus. You're liking Fresno State, right?
Yes, I am. I can get 2 right now at Bet Online.
Well, you get 2.5 at Heritage, so we're going to give you that line. Heritage has Fresno State plus 2.5, minus 115, and that is the line we'll give you on that one. And it's going to be a pass on the total for you, big man?
Yeah, I'd actually rather get 2 minus 110 because I think they're going to win. So in the case that they do lose, I'll get 5 cents cheaper. I don't really care about the line. I think they're winning this game. So. Okay,
you'd rather have 2 minus 110 than 2.5 minus 115?
Yeah, because I don't. Again, I think they're going to win the game. I'll actually take the money line if we're allowed. I'll just do that.
Oh yes, we absolutely are allowed. I will switch to the money line and find the best money line for you right now. Drew Martin, what's your pick on this game going to be?
I'll do Fresno State plus 2.5 at Heritage.
Plus 2.5, minus 115. Okay, and oh no, my internet went out here. Hold on one second. All right, we'll get you the money line in a second. Let me just connect, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to. I don't disagree with you. Every opinion that I respect in college football handicapping likes Fresno State in this game. I haven't heard one opinion that is like in Houston here, but I think I am actually going to stick with the under. It's a low total, but if it was in the mid 40s, I wouldn't take it, but we might see a game that lands on 47, 48, something like that. I think I'm going to take a shot with the under as my official pick, which will be 49 minus 107. Drew Martin, sounds like you. If anything, if I gave you a free bet on the total right now, and be honest, don't tell me what you think I want to hear or what I don't want to hear. What would you pick? If I gave you a free bet on the total right now, what would you do, Drew Martin?
I'd follow your advice, Pete. So whatever you're thinking on the total.
Right after I told him, please don't tell me what you think I want to hear. He tells me what he thinks I want to hear. All right. The best money line for Fresno State actually right now is only plus 110 at the Greek. Is that okay for you guys? Oh, for you, big man?
Yeah, plus 110. That's what I was going to mention. Yeah,
I'm money line. All right, so Big Man on Campus is going to take Fresno State on the money line at plus 110. Drew Martin's taking Fresno State plus 2.5 minus 115. That's the current line at Heritage. And I'm going to take the under at 49 minus 107. That is the current line at Pinnacle. Interesting breakdown, guys. We'll see how this all shakes out. And once again, we'll be back on Tuesday at 12 o'clock Eastern time to preview all the bowls for the day on Tuesday, December 26th. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks so much, Big Man and Drew Martin.
Merry Christmas.